New ball bowlers Ian Saxelby and John Lewis produced the goods to bring the LV County Championship match between Leicestershire and Gloucestershire back to life on the penultimate day at Grace Road. For much of this day, this match was meandering towards a certain draw as Leicestershire batted confidently on a good batting surface. Gloucestershire had racked up 504 for 9 declared on the opening 2 days, and that had given the home side an initial target of 355 runs to avoid the follow-on when they resumed on 15 without loss on day 3. Both Will Jefferson and Matthew Boyce were able to see off the first new ball with no problems, and Boyce had started to move through the gears once Vikram Banerjee was introduced into the attack. Alex Gidman rang the changes to try to get a breakthrough, but nothing could stop Boyce from completing his patient half-century, which had taken him 94 balls to reach. Jefferson has had a good season so far and often scores his runs at a canter, but on this occasion he was very watchful, and it was only in the last 15 minutes before lunch that he started to open up a bit. He was able to free his arms when Alex Gidman brought himself on for a rare spell, and that helped this opening pair take the total to 106 without loss of 40 overs by the time lunch arrived. It was very much Leicestershire's morning, in spite of the efforts from the visitors. Jefferson had one moment of fortune after the break as this edge off Banerjee avoided the slips and headed to the third man boundary to bring in his 6th 4 in a 50 made from 131 deliveries. Gloucestershire would have hoped that spin would be their major weapon. Banerjee had been included specifically for this Grace Road pitch, and he thought he got Boyce out, caught down the leg side. The left-arm spinner had his moments, such as this turner which caused Jefferson some problems. But largely as the day wore on, it was all about batting. Gidman tried 8 different bowlers in order to try to get just something to lift his team, but Jefferson and Boyce were equal to everything. There was the odd fault shot, of course, but mostly these two batted with a lot of comfort, and as the boundaries kept on coming between long periods of solid defence, it appeared that that follow-on target would be reached with ease. These two kept on going until half an hour before tea, by which time they put on 195 for the first wicket, a record for Leicestershire against Gloucestershire. Finally, after more than 4 hours and 65 overs of trying, Jefferson missed a ball from Kane Williamson and was legged before for 90, much to the relief of Gidman at slip. Then, would you believe it, Williamson struck again in his next over in the same fashion. Kadir Ali had waited a long time to have his first innings for Leicestershire against his former county, and he was out for 1 just before tea. After the break, Williamson tried his luck from the other end, but when he dropped the ball in short, Boyce cut him to the ropes to bring him just the second 100 of his career. He'd been at the crease for 4 3/4 hours, a time in which he'd battled for 223 deliveries. There was no sign of what was to come, as Joshua Cobb got his innings moving with a straight 6, while Boyce just batted on as he'd done before, reaching 3 figures, picking off the runs where he could. His previous highest score of 106 had been made against Warwickshire 3 summers ago, and he surpassed that effort as he struck his 17th boundary of an excellent and hard-working innings. With the spinner's work done, Gidman then took the second new ball with a total at 226 for 2, and the match changed dramatically. Cobb on 16 was bowled off the inside edge by Lewis at 236 for 3, now 119 runs shy of that follow-on target. Then 2 overs later, he struck again, this time claiming the vital wicket of Boyce. He'd moved serenely onto 119 when he nicked Lewis behind to end a 251 ball stay. It was suddenly all happening, and Lewis struck for a 3rd time by bowling Jigger Naik for 2. Then when Lewis took a break, Saxelby caused major problems for the Leicestershire batsman. Andrew McDonald in his first championship knock of the summer should have gone after edging behind, but his let-off was a brief one as Jonathan Batty made amends for that with an outstanding leg side take to remove the Australian for 23. Now on 282 for 6, Leicestershire had to get their heads down to make sure Gloucestershire batted next, but Saxelby struck again, Claude Henderson offering the keeper a much simpler chance this time. It was 305 for 8 when Nathan Buck had his off-bail removed by Banerjee, and 311 for 9 as Paul Dixie was LBW to a Saxelby nip-backer right at the end of the day as 7 wickets had fallen in 20 overs. Matthew Hoggard and Nadeem Malik saw out the remaining few deliveries after their side had slipped from the safety of 236 for 2 to 311 for 9, and they now need another 40 runs to get past the follow-on. There's a good chance that Leicestershire will have to bat for much of the last day as well to save this match.